we're doing a tutorial, and this tutorial was really highly requested. It was the makeup look that I was wearing in my 20K giveaway video and a few other videos I filmed that same day. I don't remember exactly what videos they were, but I'll insert a screenshot right here. I got probably like 50 different people saying, please do a tutorial. So I'm gonna do the best I can to try to recreate that look. I didn't write down what I wore. I didn't film that day, like I didn't film a tutorial that day, so I don't remember the exact products I used, but I do remember that I definitely used the LORAC Mega Pro 3 palette for my eyes and the Tarte Holiday Blush palette, the cheek palette, for my cheeks. So I'm gonna use those two products, and I remember the lashes I wore, and I don't have those lashes anymore, but we're gonna do the best we can, and we're gonna create that look, like almost that look. I think this look would be perfect for the holiday time. I think like your stereotypical, like typical holiday look is greens and reds or like lots of glitter. So I think this is a good kind of like happy median. Like it's still a really pretty holiday look, but it's not like, you know, the stereotypical look. So you can use it for the holidays too. Okay, I don't have anything on my face yet other than moisturizer, so we're gonna prime. Did I get my primer? I sure did. I use the Benefit POREfessional. I usually like to use some sort of pore filling primer. This one is a really good one. I also like the Makeup Forever smoothing primer. That one's really good too. Anything to kind of fill in those ginormous pores that I have. I like to prime my eyes at the same time that I prime my face, just to like layer the primers, you know, because if you put primer on top of like powders and concealers and foundations, it gets a little bit cakey looking. So that's the NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. This is my favorite eyeshadow primer. For foundation, I've really been liking the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. You can see I've used quite a bit of it. This is like a really good full coverage foundation. You really only need a pump. I'm gonna do a pump and a half just to be on the safe side because I like to drag it down my neck, which of course requires more product. The only thing is, I don't know if you can tell, but the tip gets like really cakey, like caked up with product. So I like to put the little stopper thing on it, and then I mix in the Cover FX Custom Infusion drops, the anti-aging ones. I just like these because they're really hydrating, so I put like, you know, 3-ish drops, and then I mix it all together on the back of my hand. They're really hydrating, and this foundation is a little bit on the drying side. I like it because it's matte, and I definitely prefer matte foundations, but it's the time of the year where my skin gets really dry and really weird, so I just like to add a little bit of hydration. So I'm going to dot that on the major parts of my face and then blend it in with the Beauty Blender. For concealer, I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape in the color Light. This stuff, the hype is real, you guys. It is a great concealer. I will say it is very heavy and can get a little bit on the cakey side, so I just dot like that instead of like drawing a full triangle because it can get a little bit much. But it's definitely full coverage, and it definitely covers those under eyes. So I'm just gonna blend that in with the same Beauty Blender, just the opposite side. Now to set everything, that way it stays in place and doesn't move. So to set my under eyes, I'm gonna use the Bare Minerals Well Rested. This is like a powder concealer. It's a little bit yellowy tinted. I don't know if you can tell. This is another thing, go in with a light hand because it can get a little bit cakey. So I'm just gonna get a teeny tiny bit on the tip of like a triangular type brush. This is the Sephora Pro Contour number 79. And I'm just gonna dot it like that and drag it down. I feel like if I don't drag it down, it's very apparent. It's brightening, it's like a brightening powder, so it's, this is a tricky product to work with, I'll just put it that way. So I like to go in with a light hand and drag it pretty far down, that way it just like blends and brightens my whole cheek area as opposed to like just my under eyes. Does that make sense? To set my full face, I'm gonna use the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Pressed Translucent Powder. This also has a teeny tiny bit of like a yellowy undertone. Definitely not as much as the Bare Minerals Well Rested, but it does have a little bit, it's translucent, but there's like a little bit of yellow. So, whatever. This is like the first time I've sat down to film a tutorial since my 20K giveaway, so I'm feeling a little bit tongue-tied and like a little bit kind of all over the place, so I'm sorry if that's a little bit distracting. I'm doing the best I can. Next is brows. So for brows, I'm gonna use 2 different brow products, which is excessive, I know, but I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer. This I've talked to you guys about before. It has that triangular tip and then the spoolie on the other side. I like this to go in, I use this every day, like just this by itself. I go in and I color in my brows, you know, pretty much do everything, but when I want a little bit more and I want my brows to be a little bit more defined, I like to go in with a like pointy tip brow pencil. So the Anastasia Brow Wiz is good, or what I'm using right now is the Dior Brow Styler, which is the same concept. It's like a teeny tiny tip, and then I'll go in and kind of like just define them a little bit more. So you will see, brows always take me forever, so maybe I'll just kind of speed this up a little bit because this takes me a long time. This is definitely the step that takes me the longest in the morning, like when I'm getting ready for work. This is what takes me the longest. I'm having a really weird brow day today, but enough fussing, I'm moving on. So now on to the eyes. Here's the eyeshadow palette. This is a limited edition palette, so it might not be available online anymore. If I can find it, I'm gonna link it down below for you guys. Otherwise, it's in store at Ulta's. So here's what it looks like. The good thing is these colors are available in lots of other palettes. Like there isn't anything that is super unique about this palette other than this color right here called Rose Quartz, which I will be using today. But every other color I feel like you can kind of find in other palettes. So that's good if you can't find it and you really like the palette. So we're gonna start, actually, I'm gonna start by baking my under eyes really quickly because the LORAC powders do have a fair amount of fallout just because they are so soft. So I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening, no, this isn't the Secret Brightening powder, this is the translucent setting powder. And I'm just gonna bake my under eyes a little bit. This is just to catch the fallout, not necessarily to bake with because I think the concealer is pretty much baked by now. It's baked in there. So yeah, this isn't necessarily for concealer purposes. This is just more to put a shield to catch all the fallout. All right, first step is a good like base crease color. So I think I'm gonna go in with this color. I forget which one I used. It was one of these 2 right here. Maybe I'll just mix the 2. No, you know what? I'm gonna go in with Dusty Mauve right here. I love these like dusty mauve-y, like slightly purple colors. I just think they look so pretty all times of the year. So they're a good spring color, a good fall color. They look perfect with brown eyes, which of course I have brown eyes, so I'm a little bit partial to colors that look good with brown eyes, but I just love this color. And look at how easily that goes on. So good. This is the Smith 232 brush. It's just like a pointy kind of domed blending brush. And this color is going to get covered up a little bit, so I'm not going to worry about being too precise with it, but I just want to get a good like transitional crease color going because we're going to have lots of colors on the eyes today. For the all over lid color, I am going to use Rose Quartz right here. This color, it's kind of like a coppery rose gold, if you can tell right there. I think it's beautiful, and I haven't found anything like this in any other palette before. It's just so pretty and so unique, and the finish of it, it isn't like sparkly, like chunky sparkles, but it is like a reflective kind of titanium metallic finish, and I really like it. You can make it more intense by wetting your brush or using like a setting spray first, but I think it's pretty intense all on its own, like without all of that. This is just a Sigma flat shader brush, an E55, I believe. Yeah, E55. I'm gonna go back to the same Smith brush and I'm gonna use the color Violet Gray, which was the one I was like kind of torn between before. And I'm just gonna layer this on top of the dusty mauve crease color that I had before. The Gray Violet is a little bit darker, so it just intensifies the crease a little bit more, and it'll blend out that all over lid color pretty well. So I'm gonna drag that into the inner corner of my eye, buff it out. Now moving on to the outer part of my eye, like the outer V part of my eye, I'm gonna use the color Eggplant, which is right here, if the camera will focus. Focus, focus, there we go. It's like a deep, rich, dark purple color. I feel like a lot of palettes have colors like this. I just love them. I know Makeup Forever has a really, really pretty eggplant color. So it's not super unique, but it's really pretty. And it's a matte color, so it just kind of, it's a really good outer V color. And I'm using the Morphe M517 brush. This is like a really dense, big, fat blending brush, and I'm just gonna tap this color on the outer part of my eye, drag it into the crease just a little bit, drag it up just a little bit, but really, really focus on this outer 1/3 of my eye. Now it's time to blend everything together because, well, it actually doesn't look too bad, but I want to blend it all together. So this is the SL Miss Glam Blender Beauty brush. It's the L34 brush. I just got a whole bunch of these SL Miss Glam brushes. I got them from Generation Beauty in San Francisco, and they are like the best brushes in the whole world. They're so soft and they're so fluffy and they're so cute. Like, look at how cute this brush is. So anyways, this is really good for kind of blending out those outer parts, blending in those transitional areas like right here, and just making sure that everything is nice and seamless. I'm gonna go back to that flat shader brush and I'm gonna get a lighter shimmery color. So here's Rose Quartz. Here's what we used all over the lid before. I'm gonna use this one right here, which is called Tulle, T-U-L-L-E. And I'm going to apply this just closer to the inner part of my eye, because I want to have kind of like an ombre, like, you know, lightest to darkest effect on my eye. So I don't want to cover up Rose Quartz because it's such a pretty color, but right here on the inner part of my eye, I just want it to be a little bit brighter, a little bit lighter. So that is what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna dust away the baking powder now, because it's time to move on to the lower lash line. I remember in that look specifically, I had a really heavy lower lash line and I really, really liked it. So if I remember correctly, this is what I did. So same Smith brush as earlier, and I'm gonna go into the color Violet Gray, which remember we put in our crease. Fallouts all over the palette. Okay, and I'm just gonna get it like right on the tip of the brush, and I'm gonna buff that into my lower lash line. Now with the pencil brush, I'm gonna go back to the eggplant color right there, and I'm gonna put it right on top of that violet gray, but I'm gonna focus closer to the actual lash line, not to cover up the violet gray. So it's almost like a liner. See that? This really, really creates a heavy lower lash line and gets that color really intense and just makes it really smoky and pretty. For highlighter, I'm gonna use the matte highlight right here called Pink Cream, and just a fluffy blender brush. And the reason why I'm not using a shimmery highlight is because I'm actually gonna use my highlighter, like that I put on my cheekbones, to highlight my brows as well, and the inner corner of my eye. So this is just to kind of put down a base and blend everything together. For eyeliner on my lower lash line, I'm gonna use the Makeup Forever Aqua XL pencil liner in the color M80. It's like a deep matte purple, and I'm going to apply this on my actual waterline. just like that, to really deepen and darken this lower lash line. I'm gonna go in with a black liner. This is the same Makeup Forever Aqua XL, just in M10 instead of M80. And I'm going to apply it on my lower lash line, but focusing like right here on this outer part and stopping right there. I just like the way this looks. I feel like it adds a little bit of intensity. Like that. What do you guys think? It's not much of a difference, but I really like it. I'm also gonna put this on my upper lash line. We are gonna put falsies on, so ultimately this is probably gonna be covered, but I just think with a smoky eye, it's always good to add eyeliner. You can never have too much eyeliner when you're having a smoky eye, that's for sure. Before falsies, I'm gonna put one coat of regular mascara on my lashes just to kind of make them stand out. They are kind of clear. They're blonde, but this is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I love this mascara, you guys. It's like the best. The best of the best. And don't forget your lower lashes too. We want to make sure those little babies stand out as well. For lashes today, I'm going to use the Ardell Studio Effects 210 lashes. I know for a fact on that day I was wearing the Studio Effects Wispy lashes because those are like my ultimate favorite, and they just look so pretty. Like, they're full, but they don't look too crazy. I have not been able to find those in store, like anywhere at all. I know they only sell them at Ulta. At least I think they only sell them at Ulta. Where's my lash glue? There's my lash glue. But ever since I started talking about them, I haven't been able to find them in stores anymore. They're only available online. So I'm gonna have to order some because those are my favorite, but these are pretty good too. They have the same like double up effect as the other ones do. Oh my gosh, I got a big glob. The eye look is definitely coming together. It's starting to look like it did on that day, don't you think? For those of you who are having trouble with lashes, I've always had trouble with lashes, like it's one of my pain points, but I found let it dry pretty well, and then I like to put it on with the tweezers, but then after it's actually like on my lash line, it's easier just to tug on it with my fingers and kind of reposition it with my fingers. So that's what I've found has been most helpful. Definitely not as pretty as the Studio Effects Wispies, but it'll do, it'll do. And then I went over the lashes, the strip of the lashes with the Kat Von D tattoo liner. This has like a teeny tiny tip like that, so it makes it really easy to just go over and do like a teeny thin black line. All right, let's finish up this face with cheeks. This is my favorite part of like every makeup tutorial, I don't know why. So for bronzer, I'm gonna use the Benefit Hoola and my Marc Jacobs The Bronze Bronzing Brush. This bronzer is probably a little bit too dark for me, but I like to go in with like kind of a lighter hand. It's a really good bronzer. It's matte, the color is perfect, but I think I'm just so used to Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil that anything that's even the slightest bit darker than that, I'm kind of like, ah, you know what I mean? But yeah, I like to put that on my cheekbones, my neck. I like to drag it down. If I'm gonna wear a low cut shirt, drag it down to my décolleté, and then right up here on my hairline. For contour lately, I've been using the same bronzer as I used to bronze my face, just a different brush. So Benefit Hoola, and then this is the Smith 115 brush. I've talked to you guys about this brush before. But what I've been doing a little bit differently with my contour is I've been diffusing it out quite a bit. So that actually looks pretty good for my first attempt. But I will diffuse it out and kind of drag it up a little bit and then drag it down a little bit more. And that way, like, it kind of widens the contour line, and I just feel like it, I don't know, something about the winter, it's like, I don't know, I just like it. It's like glam, but it's not too much, and it's like a little bit softer for like the winter time. I feel like a straight contour is like really summery for some reason. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, this is what I've been doing and I really like it. Moving on to cheeks and the Tarte Color Wheel. I love this. I love it so much. I know some people said like they didn't like it or they maybe got a bad one, but I really like it. I love these like deeper like mauvey colors, love them. So I'm gonna go in with, what do I want to use? I'm gonna use Montage right here. And this is the Luxie 504 large angled contour. I'm just gonna dot it, and then I'm gonna focus on like the back part of my cheeks right here. I have a lot of texture on my cheeks right now. My skin's like freaking out because of the weather change. So I'm just gonna focus on the back part of my cheeks right here. And then on the front of my cheeks, the apples of my cheeks, I'm gonna go in with a lighter color. I'm gonna use Icon. So here's Montage, here's Icon. It's just ever so slightly lighter, and do it on the apples of my cheeks. Like that. I love blush. I tend to go overboard with blush because I just love blush so much. That looks pretty good, right? Not too much, not too little, maybe a little bit more. That's good. For highlighter, I'm pretty certain that on that day I was wearing the Artist Couture Cocoa Bling, but I've really been loving this new MAC highlighter. It's the Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Double Gleam, like they just came out with these. I've been loving this, and it's like super intense for a like pan pressed highlighter. It's really, really pretty. So this is the Dose of Colors fan brush, and look at this. Look at that. It's like, I don't know. I was very impressed by these. I wasn't expecting it to be so like intense, but I love it. Before I forget, I'm gonna set my face really quick with the Urban Decay All Nighter. Last but certainly not least is lips. So for lipstick, I'm gonna use the liquid lipstick by Bare Minerals in the color Juju. I love these things. They're like creamy and kind of moussey, but they still dry matte and they still stay put. I really, really like these. And then for liner, I'm gonna use MAC's Whirl Liner. Okay, so here's the finished makeup look. It looks pretty much like it did in that video, so winning. I'm gonna go ahead and do my hair really quick and change my shirt, and I'll be right back. Whoa, it's crazy what a curling wand and a new shirt can do, right? I look like a new person. By the way, this is the first video I'm filming with my new hair, and I keep looking at myself in the viewfinder because I'm like, it looks so different to me, and I know it's not that different. So here's what it looks like. It's ombre. And my hair's super long, as you can tell, but like my hair's never been this color before, so I keep looking at myself and I'm like, that's not me, but anyway, here is the finished makeup look. I really like it. I think it's perfect for holidays. It's not too much, it's not too glittery, it's not too stereotypical, and I keep looking at myself in the viewfinder. I'm sorry. I know I'm gonna get heat for it in the comments down below, so I'm just gonna call it out now, but yeah, that is it. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, of course, you know where to leave them. Thank you so much for watching. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all that fun stuff. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Mwah.